Hello, welcome to finally a good Thursday night football game. We are ready. We are going on theme tonight. Well, Ray's up there. He's doing whatever he's doing. And hey, we've got a good show tonight. This is going to be a fun one. And of course, my Rams are playing tonight. Ray, Elliott, what's good? Happy Thursday.
EC.
Well, listen, man, Ray got a new candle. He's living his best life. You know, I lit one today in honor of you, Ray. Nothing happens when I light this. The room smells a little better, but I just wanted to say that. No, but listen, Brooke, your point is spot on. We finally have a game we want to watch. Though I will give Thursday Night Football credit. Like, 3 of the 4 games have been awesome, right? The Giants-Washington game was a great game. Cincinnati versus Jacksonville was great until Urban Meyer didn't join the plane. You know, like everyone enjoyed that. And then the Texans-Panthers game was a stinker. But I think we're going to have a great game. These two have really done battle since Sean McVay's been there. The Rams have come out on top 5 out of 7 times, but there have been a lot of close games, 3 games with a point spread of 5 or less. Couple 30-point games, couple 20-9 games. So a lot of different ways a divisional game could go, but excited for this one.
Right? You excited as I am, as Elliott is? Look at our jersey.
Yeah, y'all are on theme. I'm repping for my hometown, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Vegas Aces, Liz Cambridge, absolute beast. I had to rep for the WNBA. You know, got to show the women love too. Love the ladies. Love the ladies. But I think I'm in last place this one, but it's all good. I still think the black and gold is dope. But I think we got a good football game tonight. I'm excited for this one. But to Elliott's point, man, 3 of the 4 have been dope. So let's just do it, man. I'm ready. Let's help win some people some money.
I'm ready too. I think everyone clearly knows who I have in this game. I think it kind of shows. Elliott, who do you have in this game?
To be honest, Brooke, I'm not happy I'm on the other side of you because Ray and I talk, and then you're like, I feel like James Robinson's going to score the first touchdown. And there he goes, scores the first touchdown. It's just like what Brooke says comes to fruition. It's kind of amazing. So honestly, after seeing your jersey, I want to see if I can go bet Jalen Ramsey to get like 2 picks at plus 1,200. But see, Seattle and Russell Wilson on Thursday Night Football, right? Thursday Night Football is a whole other beast in terms of shorter week to prepare, less practice time, everything like that. And Russell Wilson is 9-1 straight up and 7-2-1 against the spread. So he's an underdog in this game. Seattle at home at night. I think that this game is really interesting. The Rams defense last year gave up 24 points per game on the road, 13 points per game at home. There was a significant drop-off in their play on the road. Aaron Donald has eaten Russell Wilson alive in all these games. I think he's gotten a sack in like every single one. But I think it'll be a really interesting matchup. We'll see if the Rams move Jalen Ramsey out of the slot and have him shadow DK Metcalf. Metcalf had a great game against him in the playoffs last year with 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think this game could go a lot of different ways. Ultimately, I'm taking Russell Wilson on the plus 2.5 and as an underdog because of how well he's performed. And frankly, if you bet on Russell Wilson every single time he's an underdog in his career, $100 each time, you'd be up like $1,700. So this is a guy that comes through when people don't believe in him, and the Seahawks have done very well as underdogs. So I'm going to let all those trends dictate a little bit. There's a lot of matchups that I'm more interested in than straight Seahawks, but I think this will be a really good game. I think I'm going to be sweating out that Seahawks plus 2.5 the entire time, but I'm confident that I end up getting it.
That's a good take. I'm loving it. Ray, who do you have?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the Rams get it done. Am I echoing? Or do I sound normal? This is how I do on shows. I go off script, so y'all just got to vibe with me. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you why I go off script. Because I'm the type of guy that's going to tell you your stuff is messed up, like early in the process. That way you can fix it. Some people just let you sound like shit the entire time and then don't say anything until the end. Am I good?
I think you're good. What are you guys feeling?
Elliott, because I could hear.
Brooke, do you have a speaker on?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I'm actually. I need to put my AirPods in. So
yeah. No, I think it's Brooke, not you.
Sorry, I'm working off a very old laptop.
No, because once you point it out, it's all. Listen, Brooke, you could come on and not say a word, and you'd still be the most talented person on the show.
Yeah. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. As long as I'm not screwing it up, then cool. It's on Brooke. It's all good.
I'm screwing it up.
Also, Ray, real quick before you give your speech, not your speech sounds That came across as dickish. Didn't mean to be that. I just need to say the jersey is fire. And Josh Gross picked the Aces at plus 400 to start the season to win the WNBA championship, and so I'm on it. So, like, if they win, I'm going to buy one too and come on a show one time with the Aces jersey.
I've got an extra one. I've got an extra one. I bought one for my wife, and she doesn't want it. So, Brooke, if you want a Las Vegas Aces Liz Cambridge jersey, I got you. But
Let's go.
I think the Rams get it done. I'm going to roll with Matt Stafford. I think the Seahawks, man, that defense stinks. It's not a good defense straight up. So I'm going with the Rams and Matt Stafford in this one.
I'm right there with you. I'm going Rams. I'm repping. It's going to be a good game. I think the Rams are going to kind of, get back on their track tonight. This is kind of their night to show what they really are, because obviously last week was not the best of performance. And I don't think that is what this team is. So I'm excited for tonight. I think it's going to show a lot on both sides of the ball, really. And a big NFC West showdown. I mean, best division in the league, if I may say. It's pretty tough. So it'll be a good one. Total, they got 54. Over, under, what are you guys thinking on this? You think this is high, low? Elliot, where are you?
I would say it's a little high. 54 is tough for a divisional game, though. Divisional games tend to be lower scoring the second time around. To Ray's point, the Seahawks definitely stink on defense, right? Which makes you nervous. And there's no Chris Carson, which has led to a lot more Russell Wilson passing attacks. And we know that the coaching staff has really held back Seattle's offense a lot of times. So I don't have a play on the total. I think there's a lot of different ways this game can go. So I'm not touching it. I do think, to your point on the Rams, and it's something that I just want to bring up because we are talking betting, is that, like, emotional letdowns are a very real thing, where the Rams Bucks was like the game of the season to start, right? And the Rams won and dominated the Bucks, and you kind of take a breath after that. Or, Ray, I know you were on the Patriots plus 6.5. We always assume that because a game means more to people, that people are going to do better. But so often when something means more to people, they press, they get nervous, they try to do too much, and it results in the other way. So often when we tell ourselves these narrative stories, we're looking at it all from one light, right? Like, how many times in your life have you really wanted something to happen, right? I think about the guy going at the bar trying to talk to the girl, right? Oh, I really want to talk to her. She's so pretty. You walk up, I don't know what to say, right? Like, that happens a lot more than some sort of smooth line or whatever it is. I mean, not for Ray. Look at him, right?
Not
but
me. Not me. I'm going. All you can tell me is yes or no. I'm going all in. I'm just going to tell you, you're beautiful.
But the point is that I do think that those emotional letdowns in those spots are important, and so, like, you never want to take 1 week too much, and you never want to ignore 1 week too much either. So, but Ray, go ahead. I'm on no play. If I had to take a side, I'd probably take the over because of how bad Seattle's defense is, and there's no Chris Carson and more passing. But I wouldn't feel good about it.
I'm with you. Don't feel good about it. But if there was a story that I was going to tell, if let's just say the Rams do get out early, right? They get out on top of that defense. Boom, boom, boom. It's 14-0. It's 17-0. It's going to force Seattle to abandon whatever run game they have with Alex Collins and let Russ cook. So I don't have strong conviction either way. But, if you're asking me, I would take the over. But I wouldn't do it because I don't have strong conviction that way. But that would be the story. If the Rams are going to get out quick and hit the Seattle defense, Seattle's not going to have a choice but to get DK, Lockett, Gerald Everett the ball and let Russ do his thing.
Yeah, I felt the same way about this. It was really tough choosing the over-under. I chose the over just because I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Both offenses, I think, will be airing it out this game. Both defenses coming off of poor performances, so I don't think we really know what's going to happen on defense for either of these. The Seahawks defense just stinks, but the Rams defense, I don't believe actually stinks. I think they just need to, pick it up and get it all together. So it was tough, but I'm choosing the over on this one. Let's get into some prop bets. Russell Wilson over under 268.5 pass yards. Elliot, where are you sitting on Russell Wilson?
I'm on the over. So I mentioned those trends with Russell on Thursday Night Football, and he's only averaging 222 passing yards. But if you look at games where the total is 54 or higher since 2019, it's a 9-game sample size. He's averaging 306 passing yards. The Rams are also, we talk about how great that defense is, but frankly, and Brooke, don't get mad at me, but frankly, they've not been very good this year, right? They're 7th in adjusted completion percentage allowed. They're 7th in total passing yards, and the Cardinals didn't attempt one pass the entire fourth quarter last week. I know because I had Kyler over 270 passing yards, and he finished with 268, not attempting a fourth quarter pass attempt. So I really wish you didn't do that, Cliff. But anyway, like I also no Chris Carson. I mentioned before averages 19 more passing yards per game with no Chris Carson. DK Metcalf, I think, is set for a big game, and I think he's going to take Russell Wilson. I like Russell a lot over 268 passing yards tonight.
Ray, where are you sitting with Russell Wilson?
Oh man, I mean,
not so sure.
These like QBs that should do it aren't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly, I'm telling y'all, I'm dead ass serious. I don't know, and I'm not gonna say something like I just defer to Elliot on this because he made a good case. I just don't feel it, man. Like he should be able to. Like 260 is not a lot of passing yards, right? Especially when you have weapons like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Gerald Everett, Freddie Swain getting down the field doing stuff. But man, Thursday nights are weird. So for me, I'm not touching it. I'm staying away from it. Elliot made a great case. I don't disagree with him. I don't agree with him. I mean, it's a great case. I'm not going to do it. So I cannot say anything here. He made a good, I just don't feel it, man.
Yeah, I agree. This was another tough one for me, but I agree with the DK Metcalf hot take there. I think he's going to have a really big game, and I think that Russell Wilson will be airing it out. Clearly, without Chris Carson here, what else is he going to do? So, I think he'll throw it pretty good tonight, but we'll see. Let's move on to the team that
one more thing with Russ. Russ can cook and not have a lot of passing yards. We see that
he's the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, right? Like last year, at one point, his touchdown percentage in the red zone, he like 90% of his red zone passes went for touchdowns through like 4 weeks until they played the Dolphins or whatever that game was, and then he ended up completely regressing. So to Ray's point, like Russell Wilson can be great, and he cannot go over. Also, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett can have these bombs and go over. So listen. I love Ray's point, and this is one of the best things you can do as a gambler. I don't know. Move on to the next one. Like, that's allowed. Like, you don't have to pick everything. Sure. We're going to talk about stuff on the show because anything that we write up, right, like one of us has a take on. So, but it's important to say, I'm good. That's a huge gambling tip. And the other thing is Brooks said Russell's going to go over, therefore Russell's going to go over. So now I feel even better about it.
Here we are. Well, here's one that I think that we can bet on. Matthew Stafford, over under 25.5 completions. For me, this one's pretty easy. I think he's definitely going over tonight. I think he's airing out the ball all night. Ray's wheels are turning over there. I want to know what Ray is thinking here.
Yeah, I think they got to get Stafford back on track. Last week was a down week. Arizona really put it to him. The week before that, they brought it to Tampa Bay and took down the defending champs. And I think this is a get-right game on Thursday for the entire Los Angeles Rams offense. I think Matt Stafford is going to get cooking. He is going to get Cooper Kupp involved. We're hearing a lot of coach speak about Robert Woods. I don't know about that. We'll talk about Woods in a second. But I think Matt Stafford and Sean McVay want to get this thing back on the road. And I do think that his completion total number, while high, I think it's obtainable. I think he can get that. So I don't know what the juice is on that line, but I do think Stafford over those completions. I can see that coming out because I think the Rams want to put it on. This is a division opponent, man. They want to get out early and they want to put it to them. So I like that.
Yeah, this is about the biggest game you can get, I think, this early in the season to win Thursday night against a division matchup. Yeah. I think this is very important for both teams. Yeah. Elliot, where are you on Stafford 25.5 completions?
Yeah, this game is incredibly interesting because if the Rams lose, they go from 3-0 argument to best team in football after beating the Bucs to now they're in third place in the division. That's quite the drop off, and it shows you how quickly the NFL can change. I'm
good to me.
Those are just numbers. That's not an opinion. But to Ray's point, I mean, last year the Bucs beat them this year, but last year Seattle's start was the worst in the history of football as a pass defense. Now they have not gotten particularly better; they've just played slower. That's how they've tried to protect the defense. 25.5 completions is tough. I don't dislike it, but I would prefer to bet on over 37.5 pass attempts. Because I think if he completes 26 balls, he's throwing at least 38, right? Like, I think there's a better chance he throws 40 and completes 25 than there's a chance that he throws 35 and completes 26. So I would lean towards the pass attempt over as opposed to the completion, because ultimately what we're saying is they're going to drop back and throw a lot, and I'm betting on the volume. And volume is way easier to bet on than efficiency. Because Lord knows the number of times we bet on a guy, he gets all the targets or attempts in the world, and then he ends up with 12 yards, and you want to jump out the window.
Well, there you go. An extra prop bet for all of you guys. DK Metcalf, let's go to him. The big boy in Seattle. 5.5 receptions, over under. Ray, where are you sitting with
over?
Metcalf?
Over.
All right.
I mean, I think DK is going off tonight. I think DK is going to go off tonight. Ramsey, best corner in the league, one of the best defenders, one of the best players in the NFL, period. But I don't know if they're going to travel him. I don't know if they're going to do that. And honestly, I don't really care. I mean, good offense beats good defense. It's just that's the reality of it. Those two like to go at it. And, again, as desperate as this is, as much as the Rams don't want to lose this game, Seattle needs to win this game. Like, if they want to stay in it, they need to win. There's no time to play around and mess around doing cute, like, get DK the ball, get Lockett the ball. If I'm Russ, I'm looking to DK's way early and often to make a statement. He brings a physicality to Seattle to really set the tone for that team. They're not going to play around. I want the over. DK, everything over.
Elliot, I know where you are. You're on the over, huh?
I commend Ray for saying mess around, because he paused there for a solid 2 seconds to think about something else. And listen, DK Metcalf's one of my favorite players. He and I are both 6'4", 235 pounds. We look very similar. So I really relate to DK. But
yeah.
Thank you, Brooke, for laughing at me, not laughing with me.
I'll laugh on this fantasy happy hour.
No, but listen, DK Metcalf is averaging over 8 targets per game this season. In his career, averaging over, when he sees 8 or more targets, he averages 93 yards per game. It's absurd. He's seeing 50% of the team's air yards, which means that he popped a couple weeks ago. He's going to pop soon for like 150 and 2. Remember that game against the 49ers last year where he had like 11 catches on 16 targets for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns? Like, I don't even hate DK Metcalf over 100 yards and 2+ touchdowns on FanDuel. Pays out 15-1. Like, I love DK Metcalf over 70 yards today because he's going to get the volume. And to Ray's point on Jalen Ramsey is like, they used Ramsey to shadow last year. It's just not what they've been doing this year. They've been putting him in the slot. They've been putting him against the slot against receivers like Mike Evans, who everybody shadowed, right? Like, everybody shadows Evans across the field, and they didn't do it with Ramsey. So if he's not going to see Jalen Ramsey, he's going to go well over 70 yards. And if he is going to see Jalen Ramsey, he's still going to get 9+ targets in this game. He's going to get 3 or 4 balls down the field that are 20, 25+ yards. And as good as Ramsey is, DK Metcalf's still one of the best receivers on planet Earth. And he's like 50-50 balls are 50-50 balls for a reason, no matter how good Jalen Ramsey is, right? He's going to come down with a few of them. So I love DK Metcalf over 70.5 yards tonight.
And this is one I'm excited about. I picked it for my prize pick power play. Darrell Henderson over under half a touchdown. I'm going over here. I'm praying that I'm going over here. I need him to punch it in. I do think that we're going to air it out most of the game, but that touchdown, I think that we're going to come down to we'll be on like inches and goals. So I'm hoping for it. Ray, are you?
Don't ask me. Do not ask me, because I bet it strictly because you did. So I'm listening. Don't ask me.
I'm feeling it. I really am. But I feel like so many people responded to my tweet.
Let me tell you.
And now I'm sweating.
Let me tell you something. This is just called trust and faith in you. That's my rationale. Because I don't feel good either. When I pressed submit or whatever it is, I immediately regretted it. But I said, you know what? BK, my girl BK, she said Darrell Henderson over half a get over half a touchdown, please. Come on, half. Get 2 halves of touchdowns for me, please.
I can see it happening. Elliot, where are you?
I gotta be honest, Brooke. You crush to the point of like it's my job to find every analytical angle and write them all up, and I write thousands of words a week, and bet tracker and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna just start writing. Brooke said this will happen, and that's just we're gonna see how long FTN lets me be employed. But Darrell Henderson over half a touchdown makes a ton of sense to me because he played the second most snaps in football last week. Like snaps and weighted opportunity are the two biggest predictors of running back success. And it sounds corny, but it's true, right? Sometimes like we overcomplicate things. And it's really, are they on the field and are they highly involved? And the thing about Darrell Henderson that's really exciting is that he's highly involved in the passing game lately. In his last 2 games, he's got 11 targets, right? And that's including a game where he left early against the Colts. And the Seahawks, Lord, if you think the Seahawks can't cover receivers, you should look at their numbers against running backs. They're giving up 8.4 targets and over 80 yards per game in the air to running backs. Kyle Juszczyk plays fullback and had 4 catches for 41 yards. So Darrell Henderson, if he stays healthy tonight, he should have 3 or 4 opportunities, which is a big if.
Yes.
Pray for this health.
But he should have 3 or 4 scoring chances in this game. And if you get 3 or 4 scoring chances, it's a no doubt about it. You bet on one of them results in a touchdown.
I agree. And hey, I had to throw this one in here because I was just trying to find more Seahawks players to bet on. Tyler Lockett over under 66.5 receiving yards. Where are we sitting with this one, Ray?
No, start with Elliot. Let me hear Elliot. Let some real analysis come into the picture. I got a lot of feel for the game. I got a lot of feel. Let's let some analysis come in here.
It's the really interesting about Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, and honestly, I should probably start doing this. It's basically you want to bet one over and the other under because it's very rare that they both go off. And Freeman talked about last year, Lockett went under this number in 4 of 17 games. Like Lockett has these games where he just pops, right? And it's like, Lord, there goes Tyler Lockett. 8 targets, 8 catches, because that man, him and Russell, I think a couple straight years had a perfect passer rating. Like their efficiency breaks every model ever. But he has these games with 8 catches, 8 targets, 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then he's got 4 catches on 5 targets for 48 yards and no touchdowns most of the season. So he's the kind of guy that I don't like betting on because we're talking about betting on outlier performances. So, and then if I like DK Metcalf, that hurts Tyler Lockett. And then if I think I like DK Metcalf because Ramsey stays in the slot, that means Ramsey plays more on Tyler Lockett. I like the under here.
Ray, do you have thoughts?
No, that was really good. No, honestly, I mean, the fact that you say if we're betting one to go over, and I think we all like DK Metcalf. We like DK over the receptions. We like DK over the yards. I mean, Elliott even went as far as say if he can get it, 100 receiving yards, that's within his range of outcomes, right? And historically, if they both, and as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, damn, when is the last time, just off the top of my head, I heard both of them going off, right? DK and Tyler Lockett cooking. And I can't remember. It's like one or the other, right? One of them goes berserk, and then the other one is just kind of pedestrian. And right now, if you're asking me, I have more faith, and conviction in DK Metcalf. So for that fact, I would take the under on Lockett.
Yeah, I clearly only went over just because I looked at FTN Fantasy's projections and it said 73 yards. So I just went with that, but I'm not betting on this one. And I don't know if I would advise any of the people watching to bet on this one either. So let's go to one that I definitely am betting on. Cooper Kupp over under 85.5 receiving yards. Elliot, I would love to hear what you're thinking about this one.
I mean, this dude is different with, we're going to talk about Robert Woods in a second and the narrative, the squeaky wheel narrative, but let's talk about the breakfast narrative because Stafford and Cooper Kupp eat breakfast together every morning and they are best friends, man. Double-digit targets in every single game. Seattle, depends on where you look. Like PFF says they're good against the slot, but it's because that they only grade you specifically whether or not the guy who was covering you allowed the reception in the slot. as opposed to us. If you are in the slot and they allow the reception, you count that towards it. So that'll skew the numbers a little bit. But Seattle's the worst team in the league against the slot last year. And Kupp's going to get that volume. I love him to score a touchdown tonight as well. I mean, he leads the league in red zone targets. He leads the league in end zone targets. Double-digit targets in every game, and Seattle can't cover a soul.
Here it is right here.
Give it
10, 11, 12, 13. Those are Cooper Kupp's last 4 games, his targets. 10, 11, 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, last 4 games targets. I'm taking the over, man. He's going to get double-digit targets locked. He's getting minimum of 10. And, he's not one of those players who runs those short routes like Robert Woods. He's going down the field. You know what I mean? He's catching 15, 17 chunk plays. He's going over Cooper Kupp. I mean, when you just talk about like locks for me, I think that's locked and loaded. Cooper Kupp over.
Definitely. The rest of the season, I think any Cooper Kupp go over. I think you're betting on him to get a touchdown every game. I mean, it is shown in the season that he is Stafford's number 1 guy. I mean, they have a connection like no other. It is beautiful. I could cry every time that Kupp catches a ball. So I think that he's in the end zone a lot this season. I think he's getting a lot of yards this season. So I think anytime you guys ask me this season, I'm going over on Kupp. I'm going touchdown Kupp. I think Kupp. He's the dude. Robert Woods, I think Elliot wanted to throw this one in here. 58.5 receiving yards. Are you going over or under on this one if you are so high on Kupp as well?
No, I'm the way I'm betting this is, Sean McVay came out this week and said Robert Woods is a baller, right? And by the way, I apologize if Miles is in the background. My dog doesn't like Robert Woods.
I love it. A guest appearance.
But he talked about we got to get the ball to Robert Woods more, right? So we talk about squeaky wheel narrative. And really when coaches can do that, we talk about so much scheme, everything. Like coaches scheme up the first 15 plays. So I think that if Robert Woods is going to be highly involved, it's going to be in the first 15 plays. So the way I bet this actually was that Robert Woods goes over 58.5 yards and scores the Rams' first touchdown, which pays out at 8-1. Because I think that if he gets highly involved, it's going to be early and often. And if not, it's going to be the Cooper Kupp show, and Cooper Kupp's in all my parlays and everything else too. So I feel good about it regardless. But I think that's the way I want to attack Robert Woods tonight.
Very smart. Right? Robert Woods.
I don't think that was just, coach speak. I think they do want to get him involved. And I do think that he serves a very important role for that team, especially with Darrell Henderson's in and outness with his injuries. And Sony Michel. I mean, he does a lot for that team. Let's not forget those short passes serve as extensions of the running game as well, right? And I do think Robert Woods brings a different dynamic to this Rams team that if they can unlock that and tap into that a little bit more, then it helps everybody else out. It helps Cooper Kupp out, helps Deshaun Jackson out deep, helps the running game, helps Matthew Stafford. So if it's going to happen, I highly doubt Sean McVay was saying all of that and then not going to do it. So I think Robert Woods, I like it. I want to see it happen first, and then I'll feel confident moving forward. So I'll let Elliot be the crash dummy this week and let him do it. And then if Robert Woods makes it happen, then next week I'll jump on board. And I'm not calling you a dummy at all. You're very smart.
No, you call me a crash dummy. You want me to go in the car first to make sure the airbags work before you hop in. It's cool. You have kids. It makes a lot of sense. But I just want to echo Ray's point on Robert Woods. Like, this might be the most underrated receiver in the NFL. He is an amazing route runner. He might be the best blocker. You can give him the ball, then end arounds. Like, there's nothing Robert Woods can't do. And I kind of like the 58.5 over anyway. I do think that we inflate things more for narrative, but I do think they're going to make a point to try to get on the ball early, which is why I like that 8-1 for him to go over his yards and score the first Rams touchdown, because I think they're going to try to make that point early.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the past few years, Robert Woods has kind of been the guy. I mean, he was out there. Every throw that was to him, I felt very confident that he was going to catch it, especially up the middle. So I think I'm going the over here just because I think the Rams are going to air it out this game. And so I'm going over on anything passing game this team. So I think it's going to be a good one. I have to do one more thing too, y'all, for this jersey mashup, because I brought out the Jays. You clearly know that I had to bring out some other ones this game. And I just had to do it to y'all. I hope that Ray is going to match me right here. Please do it. Please give it to me. Elliot, I'm waiting for the J's on you still.
I
Came out to play.
I got J's in the closet behind me, but I'm not bringing. I don't even have socks on right now. I'm not about to put my crusty ass feet on YouTube.
I got the cowboy boots on tonight.
Those are sick. Those are nice.
I want to throw one prop out there that I love because I'm starting to do this thing where I kind of just keep betting quarterback rushing totals, and I'm taking the under on Matt Stafford 5.5. I'm taking the under on Matt Stafford 5.5. Don't think he's going to have to run. I do think they're going to want to throw the ball a lot. So I like Matt Stafford's under 5.5 rushing yards.
Those ones always scare me. I always tend to stay away from the quarterback rushing yards. I feel like
them. I've been money on those lately.
They scare me.
The worst is when you have it and then you lose it for kneel downs at the end of the game.
That's the part that
That's why I take the unders. That's why most of the times I take the under for that, unless it's like Patrick Mahomes or Daniel Jones, somebody like that. But
Mahomes in the Super Bowl against the 49ers had really famous, right? He kneeled the ball for 17 yards. His over-under was like 25.5. He had 42, and he kneeled it for 17 and finished with 25.
I would have been pissed.
That's sweetheart.
One long shot parlay that I tweet out like every day for free. Cooper Kupp over 85.5 yards. Cooper Kupp scores a touchdown. DK Metcalf over 70 yards. DK Metcalf scores a touchdown. Darrell Henderson over 19.5 receiving yards, something he's done in 2 or 3 games. The one game he didn't, he only had 1 target. And then you can either pick Seahawks plus 2.5 or Wilson over 268.5. If you pick Seahawks, it pays out at 33-1. If you pick Russell Wilson, it pays out at 23-1. So I really like those 2 plays. I think they actually both have a shot to hit tonight.
I like it.
I'm loving this. Sounds like we're going to make some money tonight. I hope our viewers are going to make some money tonight. Go place your bets. You got some time still. We're excited. I think the Rams are taking it. They better. I might just cry myself to sleep tonight. So. But hey, nothing new. I did that last week. So we shall pray that this week is better because I can't handle this anymore. Any closing words, Ray and Elliot?
I just appreciate everybody watching and tapping in with us every Thursday. Make sure y'all come join us on the happy hour, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. We enjoy doing this. Make sure you head over to FTN Fantasy. Check out all the dope content creators, podcasts. And as Elliot said, there's a lot of free tools out there. But I promise you, if you do subscribe, you will not regret it. Just a wealth of knowledge. I've learned so much from these people, and I promise you will too. And your bank account will reflect it. So we just appreciate y'all tapping in.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I know my bank account is loving the FTN family. You guys have done me well. So I am just blessed to be a part of it. Elliot, what do you have to say Thursday night?
To be honest, it's really tough to top what Ray just said. I mean, Ray, we're going to clip that up and put that on Facebook ads and Instagram ads. I mean, honestly, Brooke, like I thought we had a rule that the show doesn't end until your glass ends, and I see you still have some red wine in there. So
I failed.
I don't really know how that's working, but maybe next week we move up to tequila and really blow it out. But this is a fun show, man. It gets better every week. We win some people some money. We have a good time, and I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy Rams and Seahawks until next week, and when my Rams win tonight. Peace out, guys. Thank you, guys.